Hi GM2 friends, it's Miss Natalie. I am so happy to see all of you and I cannot wait to be back in school with you. But today I thought it would be fun if I read you a special book. This book is called Keep It Simple, Rapunzel, The Fairy Tale Physics of Simple Machines. It was written by Thomas Kingsley Troop and illustrated by Jomeek Tahito. Now, do you remember we have been talking about the 6 simple machines in our science center? I'm going to remind you what they are. There are inclined planes, screws, wedges, wheel and axle, levers, and pulleys. Now we're going to read this book and it will remind you a little bit more about each of the simple machines. So let's get started. A little while back, in a place you've never visited, lived a witch. Her name was Dame Gothel. She grew the most amazing vegetables in her garden. One day, she caught her neighbors stealing a handful of turnips. The man said his wife loved turnips. If he didn't bring her some to eat, she would die. Dame Gothel told the man he could have as many turnips as he wanted on one condition. The couple had to give her their first baby. The man agreed, and a few months after his daughter was born, the witch snatched her away. "I should call you Turnip," Dame Gothel told the baby, "but I'm going to call you Rapunzel instead, just because." Like other kids, Rapunzel enjoyed singing, reading books, and kickboxing. Unlike other kids, she spent every day locked in a tall tower. Rapunzel was never allowed to come down, and she never saw more than her own backyard. Years went by. Rapunzel's hair grew long and strong. It was long enough for Dame Gothel to climb up. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," the witch called. "Okay," Rapunzel said. She hung her hair on a hook outside her window. Dame Gothel grabbed it and started climbing. Little did they know, a prince named Dave was watching. He'd driven past the tower many times before. He wondered about the girl living in it. "So that's how the witch gets up there," Prince Dave said. "Huh, she should build a ramp or some steps." Prince Dave sometimes watched farmers push their carts up the ramp at his castle. The royal carpenters called the ramp a type of simple machine. Simple machines, they said, make work easier. Prince Dave really wanted to meet Rapunzel. He waited until Dame Gothel left. Then, when the coast was clear, he snuck over to the tower. In his witchiest voice, he called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." "Why?" Rapunzel called without looking out the window. "You were just up here." Again, in his witchy voice, Prince Dave said, "Yes, I know, dear. I think I lost the contact lens in your room." He wasn't sure his plan would work. "Fine," Rapunzel said with a sigh. She dropped down her hair. "Come on up." In a few minutes, Prince Dave appeared at the window. Rapunzel gasped. "Hey!" she shouted. "Who are you?" "I'm Prince Dave, but please call me Dave," he replied. No one besides Dame Gothel had ever entered the tower before. Rapunzel put up her fist. "Whoa," Prince Dave said. "I'm not going to hurt you. I just wanted to meet you." "Oh," Rapunzel said. "Well, my name's Rapunzel. I don't get many visitors. None, actually, except Dame Gothel." "So the witch keeps you locked up in here?" Prince Dave asked. Rapunzel nodded. "My whole life so far," she said. "I mean, the tower's nice and all. I read a lot, but I want to see the world, not just read about it." Prince Dave smiled. "Then let's get you out of here," he said. Rapunzel gave the prince a quick tour of her room. She showed him her books, guitar, and kickboxing bag. "How did you hang that heavy bag?" Prince Dave asked. "Easy," Rapunzel said. "I used a screw." Prince Dave scratched his head. He was confused. Rapunzel grabbed a spare screw from her desk drawer and held it up. "You see, a screw is a simple machine," she explained. "It's an inclined plane like a ramp wrapped around a cylinder. The ridges are called threads. When you twist a screw into a piece of wood, the ridges hold it in place." Prince Dave nodded. "Okay, sure," he said, "and the pointy tip makes the screw go into the wood easier." "Nailed it," Rapunzel said. "Ha ha, I guess that sounded kind of screwy, huh?" She smiled, then giggled. Prince Dave wanted to show Rapunzel the world, and Rapunzel wanted to see it. "I'll get some tools," the prince said. He started to climb down her hair. "I'll build something to get you out of here." When he reached the ground, a turnip hit him in the head. Dame Gothel ran toward him, pushing a cart of turnips. "You!" she shouted. "Get out of here!" Prince Dave ducked as another turnip flew at him. He watched the witch push the cart. The wheel and axle made it easier for her to move the heavy load. "Hey, Rapunzel!" Prince Dave called. "The wheel and axle on that cart, are they another type of simple machine?" "Yes!" Rapunzel shouted. "Now run!" The young prince ran off, and Dame Gothel climbed up Rapunzel's hair. "You should not have let that boy up here," Dame Gothel said. "He's going to try to take you away." She pulled a pair of scissors from her pocket. "I cannot let that happen." Rapunzel had never seen scissors before. "What is that?" she asked. The witch opened and closed the scissors a couple times. "These are scissors," she said, walking closer. "Scissors are a compound, simple machine. The two sharp wedges work together, making cutting easier." Rapunzel backed up, but there was nowhere for her to go. "What do you think Dame Gothel is going to do with those scissors? Oh, no." Early the next morning, Prince Dave returned with his toolbox. "Rapunzel," he called quietly, "I brought some tools. Let down your hair so we can get you out of here." A few long strands of hair fell at the prince's feet. The problem, Rapunzel wasn't attached to them anymore. Rapunzel peeked shyly out of the window. "Dame Gothel cut my hair," she cried. Prince Dave thought the new haircut looked pretty good. "Don't worry," he said. "I've got all kinds of ideas." Prince Dave set down his toolbox, and it quickly sunk in the mud. He tried to pull it out, but it wouldn't budge. Rapunzel leaned forward. "What's going on down there?" she asked. "My tools are stuck in the mud," the prince answered. Rapunzel pointed at the fence around the witch's garden. "Grab one of those boards and set it on that rock," she said, "and wiggle one end under your toolbox." Prince Dave did as he was told. "Now push down on the other end of the board," Rapunzel continued. "Your toolbox should lift easily from the mud." Again Prince Dave did as he was told. With a push, he freed his toolbox. "Well," he said, "now how did that—" "It's another simple machine, Dave," Rapunzel explained. "I read about it. It's called a lever. The board is the beam, and the rock is the fulcrum or middle point. Easy peasy." Rapunzel checked the clock. The prince was taking too long. Dame Gothel would be coming soon with breakfast. "What's the plan, Dave?" she called. Prince Dave scratched his head. "I want to build something," he said, "but I didn't bring any wood, and the fence boards aren't thick enough." "Did you bring an axe?" Rapunzel asked. Prince Dave opened his toolbox. He showed her the small axe he had. "Perfect," Rapunzel said. "An axe is a type of wedge. Wedges are simple machines, and they—" "Let me guess." the prince said, walking over to a nearby tree. They make work easier? That's right, Rapunzel said. Get chopping. Prince Dave chopped down the tree, then he chopped down another tree. A short time later, the prince had shaped the trees into planks. Pack your bags, milady, he called to Rapunzel. I'm building you a ramp. Yet another simple machine, Rapunzel said. A ramp is an inclined plane. It makes it easier to move objects to different levels. Prince Dave built the ramp while Rapunzel gathered her things, but he hadn't cut nearly enough wood. The ramp reached only part way up the tower. Sorry about that, he said. No problem, Rapunzel said. She tossed 3 suitcases out the window. They landed on the ramp and slid down. Well, the ramp worked for your luggage, Prince Dave said. But what about you? You can't just throw yourself onto the ramp like a suitcase. Rapunzel's face brightened. She had an idea. We should build an elevator, she said. I've got a pulley up here. Pulleys are a type of simple machine, the prince said. Yes, Rapunzel cried. Pulleys make it easier to raise and lower loads. Prince Dave shook his head. Seriously, how do you know so much about physics? He asked. Rapunzel smiled and dropped a box full of books onto the ramp. I've been locked in a tower my whole life, Dave, she said. Like I said, I read a lot. Prince Dave built a small seat. While he did that, Rapunzel attached the pulley to the beam, there's the beam, above her window. Wait, the prince said, one problem. I don't have any rope. Rapunzel held out the rest of her long hair. That had been cut from her head. I'm way ahead of you, she said. Rapunzel threw her long hair over the pulley. The prince attached one end of the braid to the seat. When he pulled the other end, the seat rose into the air. Rapunzel hopped on, and Prince Dave quickly lowered her to freedom. But there was trouble. Uh-oh, Prince Dave said. Here comes the witch. Dame Gothel was running across the yard. She shouted and threw turnips. Rapunzel and the prince picked everything up and raced to the waiting car. They couldn't wait to live happily ever after. Rapunzel, come back here, Dame Gothel yelled. You won't escape that easily. I just did, Rapunzel said, and with the help of simple machines, it was easy. All right, that is the end of our story. So there were 6 different kinds of simple machines that were used in this book. Do you remember what they were? There were inclined planes, screws, wedges, a wheel and axle, a lever, and a pulley. Which one did Rapunzel use to get out of the tower? Do you remember? Was it a screw? No, it wasn't the screw. Was it the wheel and axle? No, it wasn't the wheel and axle. If you remember, tell me what it was. Was it a pulley? That's right, it was a pulley. That is how Rapunzel got out of her tower. So I have my friend Rapunzel right here, and we are going to help get her out of her tower. We're going to build our very own pulley system. Now you may need help from your parents with this. What you're going to need, you're going to need a paper cup. You're going to need a sharp pencil, some string. I used yarn, but any type of string will work. And if you have a push pin or a thumbtack, that will work great. And some scissors to cut the yarn. So the first thing you're going to do to build your simple machine pulley system, you're going to take your cup and your pencil. Now you might need help from your parents with this, but you're going to stick your pencil in one end of your cup and push it through to make a hole. Do you see that? And then you're going to push it all the way through so that it comes out the other side. Do you see? Now my pencil goes all the way through my cup. Then you're going to pull the pencil back out. So now you should have a cup that has a hole through both ends. Next, you're going to take some string. We're going to make kind of a long piece for our tall tower, and you're going to cut it. Maybe your parents might have to help you with that. Cut. All right, so this is where our fine motor skills are coming in handy. You're going to thread your string through the holes that we made in your cup. So starting from the outside of your cup, you're going to put your string in one end, and then it's going to go out the other end. Boop. Your string should go through just like that. Now you definitely might need your parents' help for this part. You're going to tie this end that has come out of your cup to the other side and tie a double knot. 1 and 2. I have a double knot right there, and I'm just going to cut this little extra piece of string off. So now I have my pulley system. So I have my cup right here, and I have my long string or rope, or what did they use in the story for their rope? They didn't have rope, so they used Rapunzel's hair. So now I'm going to see if my pulley system can help get Rapunzel out of her tower. So I already put my push pin, or my thumbtack, up here at the top, but I'll show you up close. This thumbtack has 2 edges and a ridge in between, and that is where your string is going to go, right in between. And then you can pull one end, and the other end will lift and lower. So let's see if we can get Rapunzel out. So here's Rapunzel. I'm going to just place her in my little cup, just like the seat that Prince Dave built for her. And now she's in my cup. And now I'm going to see if I can lower her to safety. So I put my string around the push pin. Now I'm going to see if I can lower her. Ooh, very good. Oops, she fell out. So see how it lifts and then it lowers back down? Lifts and lowers. That's so cool. We built our very own pulley system for Rapunzel. All right, friends, that was so much fun. I hope that you guys enjoy making your own pulley system at home. And I cannot wait to see any videos or pictures of you guys making your pulley system. Please send them to us. We would love to see what you guys make at home. Bye, friends. I'll see you soon.